if I die, make sure take my body back to my family. I looked at my right leg, and my right leg was straight. There wasn't any more. We gonna die. We created a history. Even they banned me, I'm gonna still go and climb.
That's an incredible story. Today on the debrief, then, I'm absolutely privileged to have, I class him as a friend now, actually, Hari Budha Magar. He's done all sorts, and we're going to find out right now. How are you, buddy? You all right?
I'm very good, thank you, Phil.
Good. Look, thank you for coming in. Really, I'm really looking forward to this. The debrief, how it works is I'm just going to debrief your life, and we're going to talk about everything you've done. So what I normally do is take you back to your childhood, and that was in Nepal, I assume.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Not that long. How was it? How was Nepal? I mean, where did you live in Nepal?
I left Nepal in 1999.
Okay.
After joining the Gurkhas.
Yeah.
But before that, it was a long time ago. Now it's quite developed. You see, roads pretty much everywhere. But at that time, even to get a salt, we used to do, a week one-way travel. It used to take 2 weeks.
Just to go and buy some shopping.
Buy salt. Especially
Really?
most of things we used to grow in our farms.
Yeah.
But like salt and kerosene that
So you'd have to walk for 2 weweeks.
Yeah.
Get your shopping.
Yeah.
On your back and walk.
Yeah. 1 week to go out and another week to come back.
Wow.
And at the back.
So schooling wise, how did you go to school and that sort of stuff, or did you sort of like just learn off the land and?
I went to school. There was a primary school.
Okay.
So primary school is class 5 in Nepal, and simply I just walked barefoot to school. I didn't have any flip-flops or even I didn't have like a proper clothes. So, I just wore my mom's, like an old gown. To
Really?
warm myself. I didn't have any like commercial jackets, commercial clothes.
No.
And went to school up to primary school.
Okay.
It used to take about 45 minutes each way. Some of people, they walk hours, but I was still privileged enough just walking 45 minutes each way.
Wow.
And yeah, there wasn't any pen and paper. So people who get pen and paper was like, they were called rich.
That's incredible.
So I just learned on how to write simply an wooden plank with chalk stone. The chalk.
Really?
Chalk stone is not even like a
commercial
like chalk that we have, right? So we go by, dig in the hills and saw it and make it smaller.
So you spend part of your 45 minutes walking to school looking for a decent stone to scratch about with.
No, we couldn't get. Unfortunately, the stone in that area is not good. So we need to go higher up, hike.
Oh wow.
Up, to go and get it. You don't get everywhere that chalk as well. You need to get.
Wow. So you got to go and. I'll just get my head around. You got to actually walk up a hill to find the right stone to come down and then do your work with.
Yeah, it was on the side of the tallest peak in our district, which was about 5,600 meters.
I mean, the plus side of where you grew up is scenery wise, and those mountains are absolutely beautiful, aren't they? What a great place.
Yeah, I think for you guys it's like.
But you're like,
no. But for us it's like, okay, we have to go down and climb up. We're gonna carry it out. Look.
Always better in a postcard.
Yeah. Honestly, it looks beautiful. But it was a hard life.
So a harsh. Yeah, I was going to say that's a hard life, a hard bringing up. When did you first start of like thinking about the Gurkhas? Were there people in your village who had been in the Gurkhas and that sort of stuff?
Yes, there are few Gurkhas. So as a Gurkhas, so which Gurkha? Right? So we have got British Gurkha.
Yeah.
We got the Singapore Gurkha. We got Indian Gurkhas.
Yeah.
We also Gurkhas in Brunei, who mostly are after retirement.
Yeah.
And also we have a Nepalese army, so Nepalese Gurkhas. So which Gurkhas you want to
So,
join?
yeah, which exactly. So which would be the sort of like prestigious one? So which would be your sort of like the elite Gurkhas? The ones everyone wants to be. What are they?
Definitely, everybody want to be British Gurkhas. I heard about like some of like a very seniors who joined the Gurkhas.
Yeah.
But once they join and they settle down in the south, in the plain grounds, in the town and cities where the easy life is. And so they hardly, went back to villages, and I never seen them. I just heard them.
Yeah.
And later on stage, in my school, there's some of like my senior schoolmates. They just joined the Gurkha. Some were just trying to and never able to join. I just follow them. But also, in Nepal is more about you follow your parents' dream than your dream. Simply you do what your parents tells you.
Okay.
To do.
So I mean that's very respectful society to compare. My kids don't care what I do. Seriously. I'm lucky. My kids have been fairly good to me. But a lot of society nowadays, the kids ain't doing what their parents are saying. That's a fact. You know what I mean? That's like that's like completely alien to a lot of people. But I think that's a great thing.
I think this is for us it's like especially those remote part of the Nepal where it's kind of cultures that everybody they want to make their children a doctor or engineer or army. And British Army was the it's best paid job among all the Gurkhas, but also you have opportunity to travel around the world and understand a little bit more and have a bit more opportunities. Obviously, joining the Gurkhas was British Gurkhas was.
So it's a selection process to get from into the Gurkhas. Is it tough? Is it a long process to actually sort of like before you come and train with the British Army?
Yeah.
Is there a process you have to go through to become a Gurkha?
Yes, normally it's about, at that time, it was a 3 process. So a recruiter goes into the village and, select from one recruiter. It can only select 60 people, maybe a couple of hundred, 60 get selected.
Yeah.
Then you go to the regional selection. In a regional selection, only 6 out of the 60 get selected. How good you are, they only can select 6 out of 60.
Okay, so it doesn't matter even. So you're down
how good
to.
you are. It doesn't really
So if you
matter.
had an exceptionally good intake, you might not get in. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So there is only the vacancy of the 6 from one recruiter. Then you go to central selection. So central selection is all the potential recruits come from all over the Nepal, and it's a 1 month selection in a place called Pokhara. And 1 month is just they test us from very small things, from like say our education, our IQs, our fitness, our social skills, to medical, to pretty much can you able to work in a team? You're just individual guy. They might like say in like a running and like and we call it very famous doko carry. We do we carry 35 kilograms and run up a hill. This only the steps. We did that. Maybe they might come first in there, but if they can't work in the team.
So they're looking. They're absolutely. They're scrutinising every last bit of you. How good was your English at that stage? Because your English is good now, but at that stage, could you speak good English then? Had you learned English in school?
No, I did. Definitely, my English, it has improved. But I think my writing was much better at the time.
Okay.
But my speaking was absolutely rubbish. Even still is now rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish. Mate, compared to the Nepalese that I know, I don't know. Namaste, and that's me. That's all I know. So.
But also I failed in class 8. And if you fail here, still you go next level, right? But in Nepal, if you fail there, you stay in that class forever unless you pass it.
Okay.
So you see different age of children in same class.
Wow. Okay. That's tough.
So that, and I also fell in my SLC, which is like a GCSE in here. I couldn't pass English. Unfortunately, I have to speak you in English.
Yes. You're doing all right. You're doing all right, mate. So you get through the selection, and then where'd you go? You come to the UK to train then?
Yes, I came to UK. My intake was the last intake, so we call it intake 99. So we joined British Army in 1999.
Okay.
So we were the last intake to train in Church Gurkha nearby Aldershot.
Okay.
Now our recruits, they train from 2000. They train in Catterick.
In Catterick, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you were the last ones, the last of a class.
Last of the.
How did you find the training? How did you find the training? Because obviously, I mean, you've come from Nepal. The setup in the UK is completely different to what you've had before, isn't it? You know, everything is different. You know, thankfully you don't have to go up a hill to get a pebble anymore. But you know, a lot of things are different, haven't they? A lot of things are. How did you cope with that? And the fact that now you're training, you're away from home. It's a lot of stuff to cope with, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was first time ever that I flew on aeroplane.
Yeah.
It was tough, and I thought, I imagined myself. We used to learn English letter writing. We used to write to a guy called John in London somewhere. Imaginary John. So we used to write a letter, and in Nepal, people say that Great Britain is one of the most civilized country, and where I thought that like big tall buildings and this amazing place, but we came out of the Heathrow. And when we came out and jumped into the bus coach and went to the Church Gurkha, and Church Gurkha, it was like Second World War camp. So it's typical English weather.
Asbestos everywhere.
I didn't know what is asbestos until I retired actually, but. I think it was like a foggy, just like cold.
Yeah,
like
I suppose so. Yeah,
we came in February, so it is whatever you call it, like a typical English word. That was it, and you went, and also we used to sleep. I think about 16 guys in the same room. And also later on, we have to march together.
Yeah.
To go to cookhouse and even come back, right?
Yeah,
you have to fall in first and march to the cookhouse.
Yeah.
And fall in again. Once
march
you finish,
back.
you march back.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was pretty decent recruit, so I finished my food on time, and you come and wait to your, all your colleagues to catch you up, and you look at it, in a clear morning in the UK sky, you see like in blue sky, like the planes are like a flying. You see their trace, right? White.
Yeah.
When can I able to go?
Go. I want to be up there.
Yeah. When can I get on that airplane again back to Nepal? And I missed home, definitely. Definitely friends, and you have to make new friends.
Yeah.
It was there. But also coming here, like small things that we need to. We didn't go out till about 2 months.
Okay.
For 2 months was just inside the camp, just learning the drills. Far you go to Caesar camp in Aldershot, where you go for run outside. That's also you can't go on your own. It's you go.
There's a squad,
run in a squad. So we simply didn't go outside until 2 months. Then they call it like a first step. For the operation first step. So you go out in the town. and understand about
How did you find
what's
that?
town
Your
like.
first time, your first time into town. How did you think about that? Where did you go? What did you do?
We went to the Fleet Town,
Yeah.
and that's first time I had KFC. So yeah,
Wow.
it's like after joining, like say, in Nepal is a dal bhat power, so it's like a rice and lentil.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything we eat twice a day. But here is like the little things that we have to adapt. Like we need to queue online. We don't need to negotiate the price. Just look at the price and just buy it.
That's just, no. I'll give you £1 for it. Imagine that in KFCs. No, it's not £1. I'll get 50p.
And some other bits like never seen the burgers, McDonald's. We have to eat by our fork and knives, and also how to use the toilet paper as well. So it's a very little thing, but I think.
But they're all like they're little things, but it all adds up. It's a big thing, isn't it? When you think about it, and all that, it's so different from being that. That must make you want to go home even more because you're like, this is so different. It's almost overwhelming, isn't it?
And you don't like it. I hated sandwich. So, when you go to the range or go outdoor something, lessons, and we get pack lunch, right?
Yeah.
Army pack lunch, like a white.
Yeah, the horror bag, yeah.
And there's normally, like, say, you got a sandwich, a fruit, a biscuit, crisp, a bottle of water or drink or Coke or something like that. And I pretty much ate everything apart from sandwich. So we Nepalese people not got used to eating cold food. I only ate when I had to. I'm hungry, really hungry, and there's nothing to eat. I got used to it now, but that was it.
Wow. So you pass out from training. Obviously, it must have been quite a proud day when you actually finally sort of like march off the square as a trained soldier.
I think, I don't know. I was proud. I think it definitely you are happy. I was happy that
that the training was over. Yeah.
But like your training is 2 months.
Yeah.
Basic, but for ours, 9 months.
Yeah. Long time.
It's a long time. Then you have colleagues. We call it numberies. So you got your army number together.
Yeah.
So we call it numberies. And some of them, you're sleeping like 16 guys in one room. So their habits, good habits, bad habits. You start knowing their families, their girlfriends. It was like everything about that. And sometimes you get along, sometimes you don't get along, right? Sometimes you argue. Sometimes, we're not allowed to fight. Because if you are fight, it's a big trouble in army, right? But and also when we started, apart, and guys start crying each other, it looks so. What I would say is like it's a bit embarrassing now, but it's like the guys who argue and don't like each other, and when they are gonna apart, they start crying. Even the instructors start crying. Simply they turned us from CV to military. And that was then. What happened? So my regiment was at the church camp. So we put the in kitchen trolleys. We put our bags and folders, kit bags and everything. And we pushed it, and we went to our rooms. We arrived about 10 a.m. in the morning, and at 4 p.m. we're flown to Kenya.
So that's it. Boom. Straight in.
Yeah. The other guys who departed slightly lately, the guys who went to other regiments, but our regiment was already deployed. In Kenya. So, we had to go with the last company, which was a B company, and we just attached and went with them.
I did 2 or 3 tours. Okay, what did you do to the Nuki?
We flew to Nanyuki, and my company, I joined the A company. So A company was at the Impala farm.
Balafon, Mount Mew, Kenya. I know it well.
So
I know it well.
you know, like one of the very strange thing was, you know, the thorns, you know, they're like trees. It has two different kind of thorn. One is pulls you up, another just to poke you up. And like a senior things like they used to crawl, you know, but they were well prepared. They knew what they were doing. And they had like a pad. You know? We didn't have nothing.
No, not in my day even. It was there. You just get on it. So, you're at your unit, exercises. What was your first operational tour?
My first operational tour was Bosnia. So
okay.
It wasn't like fighting, but it was peacekeeping.
Yeah.
Lots of sorts. I'm not sure how I'm allowed to talk lots of things. Some of things that we did, but. It was more about peacekeeping force in Bosnia. Then there was some issues in Kosovo. So at last month of my tour, we straight deployed from Bosnia to Kosovo. And came back, and I again went next year, which is at the time I went to Kosovo.
So you
doing some. Just work some of your guys.
You were getting around from early days. You were getting plenty of work.
Yes, but before than that, I was in Brunei. So in 2000, so we have 2 infantry regiments. And 1 RGR and 2 RGR, and every 3 years we just swap over. One is based in Brunei, one is based in here in Kent. So we just swap over every 3 years. And 2 RGR, you know, we didn't go to Churchkuram anymore. So the 2 RGR moved to in Kent. And we moved to Brunei.
How much leave do you get as a Gurkha? How often do you get to go home, back to where you come from?
At the moment, we get same as you guys get it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But until I think 2005 or 2007, before we used to go to home every 3 years.
Every 3 years?
Yeah, and we used to get 5 or 6 months leave.
Okay.
So I did 2 of that kind of leave.
Okay.
So you don't go home until about 36 months.
Wow, that's a long time, isn't it?
Then you are qualified to go to leave, and you go to Nepal and spend a few months. If you want to get married, or if you want to meet your parents,
Okay.
Friends, yeah.
So let's get to your first tour of Afghanistan. How many tours did you do in Afghanistan?
I did my first tour.
Okay.
So my regiment went twice. In 2007, I was just left back in Brunei to deal some of my job that other people couldn't do.
Okay.
To do so just to sorting out some.
What rank were you by then? Did you have some rank?
When I was injured,
I
was corporal.
Okay, so you were section commander.
I was multiple twice.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, cool. So let's just talk about that Afghan tour. Whereabouts were you deployed in Afghanistan?
In Helmand province called PB2 in Harisaraj district.
And was it a busy time?
Very busy time. I think it was one of the deadliest tour. I think it's 2009, 10, 11 was one of the deadliest, and it was in 2010.
Okay. So could you talk a little bit about the tour in general, how things were going? What was your daily routine and that sort of stuff? Was it?
I was injured very early in in our operation tours. So we just got in. We did our pre-deployment trainings, and we just got in, and we just got to patrol base, and we went to familiarization patrol. I wasn't with my team on that day. I was with the other team. So even I was multiple twice. Normally, my job is to sit, second man behind the team, and help all the admins and casevacs done. That was my job. But on that day, I was just doing private job, and we were 20 guys in the squad. I was a 10th guy. We passed a couple of compounds, some irrigation ditches, and we were just walking on the side of the poppy field. And so then
do you remember that moment, dear?
I remember. I remember until I got onto the helicopter.
Really? So can you talk us through it? Is it?
Yes. So first, first thing I remember, it was ringing in my right ear.
Yeah.
I had a radio on the left. So dust everywhere, and the guys were shouting like a normal drill we do, like a man down, take cover.
Yeah.
Then we used to get the heavier one, Osprey body armor, which is about 15 kilograms.
Yeah.
And just when blast went up, it just went and blew, just covered my face. And some ways, I just pull it myself, just like that, to just breathe and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And simply, I looked at my right leg. My right leg was straight. There wasn't any more.
So it's gone.
Gone. Simply.
Did you know?
No.
Could you see it, or it's just completely gone?
It's completely. I don't know what it's gone, but it wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I had left leg, but it was just dangling and bone and skins, and also I sort of injured it caught my right arm as well, so I couldn't able to move. I had my tourniquet.
Yeah. Tourniquet. Yeah.
So I think one good thing is about training is exactly what's gonna happen. Right? Who's gonna do, because you haven't done all the orders, rehearsals, and go there, so whose job is what. And I think it's like I was a second in command, so I understood those things, what's gonna happen. And one point, I think, under training, we say somebody DS comes you and taps you, okay, you got shot on your right arm, or so, and you start pretending to be like that.
But now this is real. Now this is
and I thought that is it like that? And I said no, it was real. And I tried to, my tourniquet was on right side, so I just tried to get it, and I couldn't get it. And there was my colleague. He was just 5 meters behind us, kneeling down, and I told him, "Come on, get over here and help me out." And says, "Don't worry." And he said, and the guys came up and just sorts around the secondary bomb, so that there's no other explosives and nobody get blow up. And they passed me up, called heli on time. And
you in pain at this stage?
What I thought was like, if let's say chop your hands off and like it automatically just shoots like that. It wasn't like that. So it's like when we do the survival training, we learn about how to drink water from vein. So you chop the vein out, and slowly it drips about and drips faster later. Yeah. So that's how it was. My legs. Yeah. Okay. So initially I felt like a pinched something. But I didn't feel any pain initially. Then once the guys had put the tourniquet on, and then it just started getting painful and blood start flowing. So guys did just amazing job and saved my life.
What are you feeling personally at this stage? Are you worried? Are you scared? Do you think you're going to die? What's going through your mind?
I don't think so. I was just scared because I knew there. I trained the guys that. I was second in command for my multiple 14-man team. We had a very young platoon commander, and simply we're gonna go there 6 months. We'll do our best job as possibly can, support our company, regiment, and try to everyone keep safe and go back and look after each other. That was the aim.
Of course,
I was just injured so early. So the first thing in my mind was, am I going to survive? Am I going to meet my family again? That was the thing. Second thing, I was we just got into the place. And, leaving, so in that team, I was the most senior Gurkha rank-wise, responsibility-wise. So, everybody used to look at me than my platoon commander. So, it's just leaving them in the battlefield. It's like, in Nepali we say, leaving the chicks without their mom.
Okay.
What will happen to them? It's like so
you've got a bit of responsibility for them that you're thinking, I need to sort this out.
I didn't know that I need to sort it out, but you just feel like a guilty or shame or something like
understood,
that.
Yeah.
And that you are there to look after them, and you got injured. So what's going to happen to them? You just let down your team.
Yeah, I mean, you're enjoying. I want to let down, but I understand what you're thinking.
In a battlefield, the only safe you look after you is your team. Your family is back home.
Yeah,
your friends are back home. Apart from your team, nobody saves you. And we in army we call it that. You watch my back, I watch your back.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah.
So. We've been to some of the toughest time together. This is why I think, the camaraderie in the military, I think, and the trust that we build. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're not covering, I'm not going to go and post a grenade, right? You need to have that trust. Isn't it?
Of course. Yeah.
So whatever we do, and even like a team to team. So one of the team is not giving a fire support, other team, if they go, they will die, right? They have at least kind of trust that the other team will support us when we go to attack the enemy.
That's a powerful thing, and it's a big thing. That's a powerful thing, and a really strong thing, isn't it? Having that trust with and that camaraderie, as they call it.
Yeah, that is the trust. I think, like say, this is the same thing in business or in anything that you work in the team.
Yeah.
I think trust is super, super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't see some of the trust in some of places, even though within the families or whatever that is, right? So
No, you're right.
I think the trust is super, super important.
Trust is huge.
We built that. So 6 months about pre-deployment training.
Yeah.
We built that, we know, there was a kind of thing that, just it's about getting fit, Yes, we have to get a fit. There's British Army has set up, what you need to do, make sure everybody pass the fitness test, all the criteria. But as long as we pass it, I think it's more about will to fight.
Yeah.
And the guys, in our team, we used to say a couple of things that some funny way or some other ways. One thing is, okay, if I die, make sure take my body back to my family.
Yeah.
You guys make sure to do that. One of that trust. There was one of our section commander. He was quite funny, and he used to say, "Guys, if I was blown up or something happened, and first check that one. If it is not there, just shoot me."
Genius, brilliant.
Yeah, so he just used to make a joke.
So you get scooped off the battlefield, helied straight out, MERT team comes, all that sort of stuff.
I was rescued by Pedro, the Americans.
Okay.
So I was very lucky. I think that Pedro team was going to rescue someone else.
Yeah.
And I think I was much more serious. So when they tried it, they were already in the area, so they picked me up.
Okay.
So they picked me up in 17 minutes.
Wow.
You don't even get an ambulance in 17 minutes.
You would get that downtown here. No chance.
And I remember everything. They're taking me to the HLS, and putting me in the heli, and I was just shouting my platoon commander. My platoon commander was also there, so I was shouting my platoon commander. Sab is sir in our language. Sab, make sure look after the boys.
Yeah.
If you look after them, they look after you. Very simple is that.
Right? Yeah.
So there's no one can look after. So I was telling him, and he still remembers that. They gave me a mask. So one heli came down, went up and just gave a cover. Another heli came down and just picked me up. I remember, I thought that like the guys who will come with like, Red Cross sign on, like, but these were like a Porphyry Special Forces.
Yeah. And they're good, aren't they? These people are good, aren't they?
They have like like there one weapon hanging over there, another weapon hanging there. They got like helmets on.
Yeah, the communicator helmet.
They got from seizures to like other kit of like medical kits to like their like ammunitions, like their magazines, like
all good to go.
So they were amazing. And the guy gave me a mask, and he started cutting my combat dress. Then I passed away. Next morning, I just woke up in canvas, and I think one thing is, I would love to know the people that who those guys were and rescued me.
Well, hopefully, if somebody was on that rescue, you need to get in touch with Force Radio. Details below, all right? Because we'd love to reunite you. We really would, because that's a big deal.
I would just love to say them thank you.
Yeah, no, well, there you go. You've said it. Hopefully they'll watch it. So you're in Camp Bastion now. Do you sort of like realise now the war's over for you as far as going back on the ground?
No. Simply, I was just worrying about. At that time, I was like more worrying about boys. So when I woke up, so it was, so my right hand was completely plastered and hanged on the side of the bed. I had all the needles on one of my arm. I didn't know how it looked like, but I remember that they were covering with a white blanket from my chest down. And I remember that I had my left leg. It was dangling in bone and skins, and I didn't have a courage to open it and have a look at it. I did not have. And when I, gained conscious, my commanding officer and Gurkha Major, they were, standing either side of my bed, and I was just ashamed to lying in front of them, I was there to give everything I can to support, help the company and regiments, and lying in front of them was, I just my tears came down my eyes. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's a strong moment. That
I think you are there to help each other, right?
Of course,
help, and I thought that I just let them down, my team, my company, my regiment. But
I don't think you can say that. I mean, I know how you feel, but that's not the case, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Now I think that, but even coming back to here in UK, in Birmingham, and I was all the time thinking about the boys in Afghanistan, and we had military liaison officer who used to look after us, look after our families, and he simply said, "Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself." And said, I just worried. And later, after a couple of months, they came R&R, and they came to see me at home. So then after that, it was kind of relief. But before then, you just constantly worrying about. You dream about running around chasing the Taliban. Even I didn't have legs. I always kind of running around with my legs and chasing the Taliban. That's how I dreamt. But there was a volcanic ash in Iceland. So at that time, plane couldn't fly to the whole Europe.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. It was a big thing, wasn't it? Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, that's right. Couldn't go anywhere, could you? Grounded all the planes. Yeah,
so I was actually sent with the Americans to go to Washington, D.C. And from Camp Bastion, I flew to Bagram, American base.
Yeah.
Stayed 2 nights. I had a 2 operation there. Then from there, I flew to Iraq in Balad. The next morning, I was supposed to fly to D.C., but they said, okay, Birmingham airport is clear. So one C-17 went with the 2 doctors and 2 nurses and brought to me Birmingham.
Okay, so now you're in hospital in Birmingham. What are you thinking now? What's your next steps now? You've got to rebuild your life, basically, haven't you?
Yeah, just when I came to arrived in Birmingham, they said that I needed to go to immediately another operation. And they said that you're going to meet your family. I said, oh, that's nice. And, before you go to the operation theater outside in the corridor, my family came to see me, and there were like two double doors,
Yeah.
doors, and they opened the door, and my son was 2.5 years old. He came and sat on my chair. I was just so happy to see him.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
I didn't know whether I could see him back again. And my wife just put one step in that doorway. And I thought that she would come and at least maybe tap my shoulders, or maybe touch my hands. But she just couldn't move forward. A couple of weeks ago, I was just like a able-bodied guy, Now, one of the things that in Nepali we say is, come back as you are now.
Yeah.
Come back intact. And I couldn't go back to my wife, to my family, and who is, I was very sorry for my wife and everyone. And then she just cried. I cried and just went to doctors and theater. And the good thing was we all, in the whole ward, we were like a injured militaries. Some of triple amputees, quadruple, double, single, to some of them like, still in coma. So it was quite interesting place in that ward, but we all were military.
Yeah. You all had something in common.
Yeah, it was good. So then I stayed about 22 days in hospital in Sheliog. And then after that, they discharged me. My house wasn't adapted, so I stayed a couple of weeks in hotel instead of going to my home. And then I went to Headley Court for rehabilitation. And just, it's about building life, reliving a life, and it's just about what to do. I didn't know what to do. Because one thing is I was disabled. I knew that how disabled people were treated in those remote part of Nepal and how they perceived. It's more about you are burdened.
It's a lot harsher there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back home, it's a lot harsher where you come from. It's like, you're right. People look at you like a burden and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so you're a burden.
That must have been really hard to take.
Yeah.
Because you've gone from basically the top tier of society as a Gurkha, a British Gurkha, and now you're in the sort of like doldrums of, I'm now a disabled guy.
Yeah, and it's been taken as a burden of the earth and it's a sin of previous life. Maybe you have done something wrong. This is why, kind of, because my perception was that way. I perceived myself that way, and I didn't know what to do. I thought that, I would be locked down in somewhere in the room. In Nepal, many disabled people, it's more about hiding it instead of they don't take you to the a social gathering. It's about just keep hiding it.
Really? Okay, so
from the outside, so I didn't know what to do, and I perceived myself, as a other people perceived. And I didn't know. I thought that I was going to sit on wheelchair for the rest of my life, and simply I would need a carer for the rest of my life. That's what I thought.
So right, you're at that stage. That's the low point. You turned it round.
Some ways.
You said no. Some ways. I'm not even going to listen to you on that. I'm not having it. Right. You turned it round. You decided you weren't going with that script of the wheelchair, being hidden at family events and all that sort of stuff. You decided no. How did you decide that? And at what point did you realise, right, sod this, I'm going for that?
So at that time, I just pretty much went through everything, not just me, but whole of my family, because of how I was injured, how we perceived. And one point I was just drinking so much to just control my pain and emotions, mixing with it, medications, which didn't really help. And kind of, when I didn't drink, my hands became shaky. I tried to take my life a few times. And simply, one day I felt really bad, really, really bad. Bad for myself, bad for my family. And I thought, if I'm going drinking this way, I'm going to die soon. If I die, it's end of my story. But my family has to live my negative legacy. So some ways, I don't want my family to leave my negative legacy. So even me sitting in the corner in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
I think I think can advise my children possibly what to do.
Okay, so you're literally thinking, even if it's the tiniest thing,
yeah,
it's better than just giving up and going.
yeah, and I think,
Yeah.
and I thought that if I took my life, I would be selfish, right? Maybe I solve my problem,
Yeah.
so I'm gone, right? So I
But
solve
you
myself.
cause problems for other people.
But I would cause problem for my family.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think I don't want to be selfish that way. So I think I want to live my life. So that was pretty much, I think, the turning point.
Yeah.
Then this is where it came like, so, there was an organization called Battleback, and who, in rehabilitation, they used to take us to adaptive sports. And they used to come, and every week they used to ask us, okay, who wants to go to skydiving? And said, no. And then after I thought that, okay, I think I want to go and do it. One thing is I never done parachute.
Yeah.
So I want to experience that. Second one was I was already half suicidal mode. So
Who cares?
so if half of my body's gone, so if another half goes, it's fine.
Yeah.
My story. That's how I went.
Wow.
And we went to Netherhaven Airport, and I did stand up, we kind of shuffled down. They opened the aircraft door and just hit in her face, look it down, and we could only see the cloud, and I was a bit scared. Even you want to die, you still get scared. And the Gurkha's motto is, it's better to die than being coward. So I'm a Gurkha.
Yeah.
I can't be a coward. So yeah, just close my eyes and jump down. And when we landed safely in the ground, I realized that even you don't have legs, you can do something.
Yeah. And what a great thing straight away. Just from that one jump, you can do something. I've got no legs, and I've just done something.
Yeah. And after that, I didn't know how powerful was the mind.
Yeah.
And my aim was to, what can I do physically after losing both legs? So this is where I tried all the sports and adventure that I can put my hands on. So I start doing things. And I think, so when you're about the confidence doesn't come with a magic one, abracadabra, ka-ching, here, go and climb Everest without legs, or go and rule the world. It doesn't come like that. I think confidence comes very little things. So initially, I couldn't jump from the floor onto my wheelchair. I couldn't transfer. I couldn't transfer from the car, from wheelchair to car. I couldn't go to toilet myself. I couldn't brush myself. In Seljuk, the nurses used to wash me. I couldn't wash myself.
Yeah.
But when you could able to do one small thing, you can brush your teeth yourself. You are independent.
Yeah, so it's another gain, isn't it? It's another win. It's another.
You can go to the toilet yourself. You got a privacy. You gain another confidence. So in life, it's not about big things. I think, in my view, the little things in life is very, very important.
Yeah.
And that's how we build the confidence, little by little by little by little. So every moment in life, I think, whoever we meet, whatever we do eat, wherever we go, so what we read, who's our friends, and it's the small things is super, super important.
Yeah.
Which we completely ignore sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And I think
I think there's a rush.
Goes.
There's a rush and a fixation sometimes on the big stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll miss all the stuff that you need to stand on to get there.
Yeah.
And that's right. It's the small things that stack up that take you to the top. It's not, you can't reach the top unless you stack it up properly.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree. And this is how my life was built. So I fell many times. I couldn't even put my legs for 5 minutes. And then you put 5 minutes, then you increase slowly 10, 15. How long do you think? I stayed in rehabilitation. I think over 3.5 years just in rehabilitation.
Wow.
Just building my life. And after doing all the sports and adventure, I realized that anything is possible.
Are you driven by the fact that you know that what you're doing is inspirational to other people, or is that just a byproduct?
I think so. It's. I don't know what is a byproduct you mean, but I think for me is.
So you are driven and you are doing this stuff, but do you realise is what I'm trying to say? Do you realise the impact of what you're doing is for other people?
I didn't know.
No, but it is. I mean, the other people are looking at you, probably maybe in a similar situation, or maybe not even a similar situation, with their own trials and tribulations in their life that are at a low point, thinking, well, hang on a minute. He scraped himself off the floor in Afghanistan, and now he's doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? That's a powerful thing.
I think little things in life is very, very important. And I used to go to community parties where still, even we live in the UK, people who grew up in Nepal, it grew up in the same culture that I grew up. And especially some senior people who have no knowledge of a disability and things like that. But I'm still the same guy. If music plays, then I want to dance. Even on my wheelchair, right? I want to have fun. But I think people expected me to stay at my home. I've been in the background. They talk about, oh, he's so poor. Oh, you lost your legs. It's like it's not a nice way, but it's too sympathetic way.
Yeah.
And I was simply many times I don't want to be there. It's too poorly.
Yeah. You wanted to be seen. You wanted people to see you.
I want to do something that I'm valued to my family and also valued to my community.
Yeah.
And simply, that's one of the things I think is kind of driven me. And later on, so I wasted my life nearly 2 years of my time. So I think if I knew that, I will be in different place now. I have already climbed maybe more mountains. I have already completed my 7 summits, right? So I don't want to people to waste their life. So they just believe themselves that they can do something and keep doing it instead of worrying about something, blaming yourself or blaming someone or just feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, just get up and get amongst it. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you start doing it, the better.
Just do something.
Yeah.
Whatever you like to do. It doesn't really matter whatever that is.
Yeah.
But also, it's not just our problem. It's our families, our communities, it's authorities' problem. So when they see us, make sure they see us as a good citizen, a good person, than a guy with a disability or girl with a disability.
Yeah.
So they help and support us the right way so we can also live as other people and happy, successful and meaningful life like other people. My legs might be my weakness, or someone's my hands or ear or eye or mind, whatever that might be weakness. But we also can do something. Everybody has a weakness. Nobody's perfect in this.
No, of course not. No, you're right.
Right? So we can be happy without legs. We can be happy without money. We can be happy something that we don't have. As long as we have positive attitude and right mindset.
Your mindset is absolutely incredible. What was your first peak after you when did you realise, right, I'm going to start having to go to these mountains? Do you know what I mean? So what was your first peak? What was the first hill you went up after you'd been injured?
So first, I did all kind of sports and adventure, and I thought that simply anything is possible. It's just different way of doing things. If we can adapt our life according to time, situation, and our abilities, we can make anything possible. Some ways I believe that. Some ways, I got that confidence. Then we met, the Chris, and we met in one of the social gatherings in Alderson. And he knew that I was skiing, so he also climbed the mountain in Nepal and skied down. And I said, Brother John, go to ski in Nepal. I said, oh, that's interesting. I would love to go to, go back to my country and ski. Has any disabled people ski there? No disabled people has skied in Nepal. So, that would be nice to go back. But also, I gave him I told him, if you teach, because he was in mountain troop leader.
Yeah.
So if you teach me climbing mountain, then, let's do it. And I said, okay, happy, let's do it. And in 2016, we went to Nepal and went to Gosai Kunda. So which is...
You, before 2016, you'd never climbed a mountain?
No.
What year did you climb Everest?
2023.
Jeez, 7 years. I mean, some people train all their lives and make base camp if they're lucky. I mean, I've never, I was in mountain troop and I've never been up a peak like that. I've not even been to base camp. I mean, so with the disables you've got, in not many years at all, you've gone from pottering about on a slope, learned a bit.
So main thing that time going there is, one is skiing.
Yeah.
The another one is how my body feels with altitude.
Yeah.
So
of course,
I didn't know much about altitude. So I just wanted to know. And also we practiced, we put in in big rocks, we put 2 zoomers up, they call it ascenders. And, how we're going to tackle the Hillary step, because I heard a lot about that. And it's like sheer rock. So how are you going to tackle that? And so we put 2 zoomers, went quite easily up, so, but also, whether is it physically possible or not. So we did. It was absolutely tough, but some ways inside, I believed that, this is possible. So after that, I announced that, okay, I'm going to climb Everest.
Yeah.
That was in 2017. And September 2017, so my aim was to climb one 6,000 meter mountain.
Yeah.
And go to climb 7 or 8,000 meter mountain, then go to the Everest. And I was hoping to do in 2018.
Okay.
But it didn't happen.
No, but you kept going. That's even more testament again. You just kept going. I mean, it's an incredible... On the Everest trip itself, let's just quickly talk about that. How did the whole thing come around? Did you... When did you go out there?
I supposed to do in spring 2018.
Yeah.
But at the end of 2017, Nepalese authorities brought new rule banning double amputees and visually impaired.
Right. Okay. So it was the authorities that put the trip off. That's what I'm getting at. So you couldn't go on that trip because the authorities went, no chance. You're going up there with no legs.
So with no legs, and if you can't see, you are not no legs, no hands, and you can't see, you are not allowed to climb over any mountain over 6,500 meters in Nepal.
Wow. So how did you get around that?
We tried diplomatic means. It didn't work. Possibly it wasn't going to work for the rest of my life. I went to Geneva. And also problem with the United Nations is whatever decision they make is not law binding. So we had no choice other than going to Supreme Court and overturn the rule. And the lots of my friends with the disabled community, disabled organizations, embassies and media has helped me. We put lots of pressure, so 5 judges unanimously decided that.
And all the time you're sort of like sorting out the legal side of things. Presumably, you need to be doing a lot of training to get yourself into a position where you're fit enough, strong enough, and have got the ability to make the mountain anyway.
I didn't really think about training at that time. I think I didn't sleep about 3 months, just how to, get overturned. This is absolutely ridiculous. You can't ban the people just because they can't do.
Yeah. So you were about proving I can do, I will do, and I'm going to do. And now you have done.
Yeah, so what actually I decided was, even they banned me, I'm going to still go and climb.
Okay.
But problem was, nobody would take me, because of their license would be confiscated if they take me.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, so who did take you in the end?
The Chris and as a state advisor took me. We overturned the rule, so anybody could take me.
Yeah.
But also there was no legs as well, so we designed the legs. And there we had to raise lots of fund, which is I didn't have.
Okay, so
initially, pretty much nobody helped me. My family, friends, even they didn't, believe me that I could able to do. So I had some money from compensation. So I used that one to climb Mera Peak. And I became, in September 2017, I became the first double above knee amputee to climb over 6,000.
Okay, so now people have got to take you slightly seriously, because that is, 6,000 feet a fairly serious climb as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
there are no 6,000 feet in Europe.
Yeah. So you've done something significant, and something that proves that actually there's a possibility that you are going to go up that thing. Do you know what I mean?
Then after that, say my family, friends, and the charities and communities start slowly helping. I think maybe you can do it, and they start helping me out. And the corporate sponsor, they didn't want to come in first place. The first thing was they didn't believe that I could able to do that. Second thing was, if something goes wrong on the mountain, they didn't want to associate with me.
Absolutely, that's the world of corporate sponsors all over, isn't it? You know what I mean? They want to sing from the tree when it works. They want to jump out, push you off it when it don't. So
but also I think it's more about proving that you can able to do it.
Yeah.
There's some amazing corporate sponsors.
I think,
and help me out, who risk it,
and
they became part of the history.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It is history. It's groundbreaking. It's next level groundbreaking. It's on par with the first people that went up there, because you've gone up there in a condition that nobody's done before. Yeah. The first person up there, fair one. Few people, youngest person, oldest person, blah blah blah. No legs. That's completely off the charts, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we were very lucky. I think we were lucky our team came down, we ran out oxygen, we summited very late, but some guys in the team who really believed in me, they risked their life to help me out, and it's not just coming back safe, but with the success. Just 17 people.
How long was the actual trip? How long did it take you from base camp to complete summit and come back down again?
It's just 5 days up and 2 days down.
Okay.
but we had to go acclimatize and wait for the road to open. So total trip was 64 days.
Okay.
But going up was just go up and come down.
And technical climbing, is there quite a bit of technical climbing involved?
Yes, some of technical climbs. Particularly it was in Khumbu Icefall. So you have to cross the ladders, climb the ladders.
How did you find the ladders? I mean,
that's easy for me. Because I have a very short gait. I have got pretty strong upper body.
Yeah.
So I can just scroll up. I just do different way than other people do. I can just scroll up, and like if as long as somewhere I can pull myself with ice sacks or with zoomer or something. Or I can push myself. I think I'm actually faster than some normal people.
Okay, so
on the technical, my issue is like covering a long distance, and because I'm like a penguin, right? I'm working like a penguin.
Yeah.
So it takes so long time to get. That means that it takes 3 times more time,
more exposure, more time at
more
altitude.
energy.
Yeah.
So it's not just me, but I put my team in risk as well.
Okay. So that final bit then, as you turn around that corner, everyone's seen the photograph, you've actually been there, and you're looking up and you realise, I'm going up here. This is how did that feel?
The crazy thing is mountains, they look just there.
Yeah.
It's never, and it takes weeks and months to get there.
Yeah.
I think we were, we simply, we crawled up from Camp 3 to Camp 4, 14 hours. So for me, it's like crawling. Right?
Yeah.
And took 14 hours. We arrived at 6 o'clock in the evening. At 6 o'clock, when we arrived, guys said, okay, we're going to leave at 8:30. So 2.5 hours later, we're going for a summit. After 14 hours. And I was already knackered. I was just tired. And, I was there to give up. And I and my expedition leader with the oxygen mask on, we're sitting in this tent and I just told, brother, what is the plan? Because the plan was to put Camp 5 and Camp 6 if possible. We had oxygen. But the guys didn't take all the logistics up there. We actually, staying in someone's tent, another company's tent.
Yeah.
So I knew that there wasn't logistic, but I just asked him. Maybe he might say that, okay, let's rest today and let's go tomorrow. If I did, I'll do that. Oh, tomorrow we'll get up to the balcony and next day we attack summit. But he said, we're going for a summit, brother. I said, and how many are we going? He said, all of us. So 13 of us got there. My Sherpa leader, he was hit by ice in his thigh. So he said he can walk up but can't come down. So he stayed there. But it's like in military, you can't leave them alone. So
So someone stayed with him,
with him. So 11 of us, the guys couldn't get ready at 8:30. So we left 10 to 10. We left 10 to 10. Then, so at the time I just thought that I was about to give up. And, it took over nearly 6 years to get me there. And I wouldn't able to raise fund. Whatever was going to happen, I was definitely not going back. I think wouldn't able to go back. So definitely I'm not coming back. So I've got one day to make or break it. And simply I decided I just keep going. We got 11-man team. So even something happens, I think they will drag my body down. So, I just decided just keep it going until we reach the top or I collapse. So I kept it going. And it took whole night to get up to the balcony. And from there, 5 my most trusted guides came back down. Some ways they decided to come back down. And I thought that that's it. It's done. And some ways, some of the guys wanted to go up. And so we kept going up. And I thought that I was just going to go slightly up and give up and come back down. And we kept up. And when we kept there, we look at the South Summit. Lots of people who fell on Everest, they say that, oh, I got up to the South Summit. So, some ways I decided it was nice to go up to the South Summit. But from Camp 4 and from where balcony, you don't see the summit actually.
You
only see the South Summit.
Right, you think, oh no,
you
the false peaks. And,
you only see South Summit. So it was nice to go get up to the South Summit. And we went up to the South Summit. And on South Summit, you could see the main summit other side. You see Hari Step and the summit. And we were so close. And I asked Sherpa, it's called Mingma Sherpa. He became the team leader now. All my leaders went back down. And he said, I asked him, can you make it? He said, yes, sir. Do we have enough oxygen? Yes, we have. And 6 of us were kept going. One guy, he was carrying 2 bottles of oxygen. We thought that he was bringing up. Some ways he went back down with those oxygen bottles. Because if you don't take the oxygen down, then the company, they deduct this from their salary, $80 deduct their salary. So he took it all the way down. And when we went to South Summit, okay, kept going. And just for South Summit, you have to go down to get up.
Okay, yeah.
So once we get down, the guys changed my oxygen bottle. And some way, I found like a whole of my energy drained from my body. Even going down, you have to go up on South Summit to go down.
Yeah.
So I said, I can't make it. Let's go down. And the guys came and checked the oxygen bottle. And some ways, it was empty oxygen bottle. So I was climbing without oxygen. And they changed new oxygen bottle. After a few minutes, I felt right. Just kept going. And the last people we met was at Hillary Step. Then once we crossed the Hillary Step, weather was pretty good up to Hillary Step. Once we crossed Hillary Step, the weather just got really bad. It's like a wind, cold, just, you could imagine. But once we went to the Hillary Step, I think there's no way going back. Even we gonna die, we created history and just kept going. And we submitted 3:10 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Normally mountaineers, about 12 o'clock, whatever
yeah.
they come down.
Because you've got to worry about getting back down again as well.
You're just halfway up.
Yeah.
right. So I was just a couple of things that I was thinking before we went to Everest. So if we need to do something that never done it before, then one thing is we need to think differently. Another thing is I need to work much harder than other people and take slightly risk. And I think we just need to take slightly risk. We submit, and we went up there and just gave high five to the boys and hugged them, cried like a baby. I cried a lot, Phil, in my life, you know?
Yeah, you've had a lot to cry about, I'm telling you. It made me cry, didn't it?
And it's just crazily, you know, like after that, you know, all your eyebrows, you know, like it's frozen.
Yeah.
Tears and like wind blew it up. You steamed and when it catches, it just. And we tried to take a photo. Luckily, the guys got 2 GoPros. All their phone took out and switched on. They didn't even switch on. My switched on, but it didn't. You know, it went switch up directly. Some was the guys got 2 GoPro. 1 GoPro didn't switch on, and 1 GoPro Max, which worked, and was able to take some pictures, and like let's shoot down as soon as possible.
And then because you can't hang about up there, can you? You've got to literally get there.
It was about, so we have been there, but you have to show some kind of proof that you've been there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to say, okay, we have done it.
Yeah, of course you could.
You know, and there are lots of speculations and things like that. So we were lucky. We didn't know that we were able to take a picture. Okay. Their footage was captured until 2 days we went down.
You must have been really worried about that.
But we really worried more about going down safely. And we ran out of oxygen when we went down. Last was just 2 people who we just stay up. One of the Sherpa has to go down without oxygen. Luckily, he reached to Camp 4 safely. Later on, one of the assistant kitchen chef, you know, the guy we left with the Sherpa leader?
Yeah, the guy that hurt his leg.
Yeah. He never been high up there. He was assistant kitchen chef. He got 2 spare bottle of oxygen and hot water, and saved us our life. So
wow!
It was all together. It was 25 hours, 10-minute journey from Camp 4 to Camp 4.
Wow! So you come down from there now, through base camp. You've got to announce that to the world now, haven't you? You've done it.
Yeah, it looked really unreal. Once we came back to the, best sleep I had. We came down and slept at Camp 4. That's the best sleep ever
I can imagine, yeah.
Ever I had it, yeah. And I came down to base camp. At the base camp, I just sat the same tent that I sat and look at the Khumbu icefall, and it didn't look real. I was just thinking last over a month, how to cross that Khumbu icefall, how to do that, how to get up. Is it gonna be successful or not? It's just like lots of things, and now it's done. Is it really done? Kind of things. But it was really dangerous. So 17 people died in that season, which is a record highest number of them. Only 52% of the people who made successful. And I think I feel very lucky to come back safe with the whole team.
Yeah.
But we were successful.
No, it's an incredible story. So, what are your plans now? What are you doing now? What's Hari going to do next? What are you up to? You're obviously you go and tell your story to people, and it's a hugely inspirational story. You know, I'm absolutely enthralled by what you've done. You know, and learning all the time. But what is your plan now? What do you want to do now?
I think I know mountain. I think that's what I think I'm good at.
Yeah.
Also, my aim is to. I went to Everest to making awareness of disability, and inspire other people to climb their own mountain, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
So my aim, I think, just climbing once is not gonna be enough. So we need to keep doing it. Not just me, but people like disability, like myself. We need to doing whatever we love to do, and make sure tell the world that disabled people can do anything if they put their mind into it.
Yeah, no, incredible.
And now, I have, by the time I finished Everest, I have already done 3 7 summits, which is, I wasn't expecting to do other 2. My aim was, because all the bans and things, Corona popped in, so I have to do something. I have to give up or do something.
Yeah.
And many times I thought that maybe I would make some excuse and give up. But once your friends and families and charities and like corporates help you out, you don't want to let down. So I had to try at least once. So I done Everest, and also already 3 done. So I think it would be quite nice, which is nobody has done. So it would be quite nice to climbing 7 summits. So highest peak in each continent. So last summer I went to climb tallest mountain in North America, which is Denali. This is another tough mountain, even it's shorter.
Yeah.
I have done so. I have completed 4, and I got a 3 to go. So next one is Aconcagua, which is the tallest mountain in South America, in Argentina, in February.
That's incredible. Look, I'd love to keep you in all day. I really would. I could talk to you all day. I really could. I love being with you. We haven't got time today but listen, I hope you become a friend of our radio station and of our media. We'd love to keep track on what you're doing. We'd love to, be part of that journey with you as well, and show your stories to the world. And if your aim is to try and educate people about disability and all that sort of stuff, then part of our aim will be to help you do that. Do you know what I mean? I think that's how we can support you if we can. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you, Phil, and I really, really appreciate it.
No, seriously.
And I think it's very important that making awareness of disability. I was able-bodied until age of 31.
Yeah, and you don't know what's around the corner.
It could be my life changed.
Yeah.
And I think make sure that people with disability, they believe themselves that they can do something. But also we make awareness to our family, friends, community, authorities, so that they don't ban us climbing a mountain. So doing something that we love to do and discriminate us. And but they support us right away. So we can also live a meaningful life like any other people.
No, absolutely phenomenal. And we're behind you all the way. Look, listen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Take my hand, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.